Now we're going to add our first layer of color using a Q-tip in the smaller areas in order to have control. We're using marker refill ink, and then we're going to go into the cotton ball technique, which is putting the refill ink on the cotton ball and laying it in. You see, I've done my preliminary drawing in Prismacolor, and so when I lay in the marker ink, it's blending the Prismacolor drawing, which adds to the shading and the sense of dimension. I lay it in very lightly, taking the strokes in the direction of the muscles of the body. So down the thigh, I'm taking it as though I were stretching the muscles down the leg. You can see I can also do fairly small areas with it. As you practice, you'll feel more and more in control. This is all the first layer of color. And then I'm going to go back in with the same color for a second time once the first layer has dried. And this gives me a medium tone. Now I'm using my shadow tone with the Q-tip for greater control. And I'm doing approximately 1/3 of the figure in this shadow tone with the Q-tip. Defining the muscles, I make the knee look nice and narrow in contrast to the musculature. Now I want to go back and define my drawing, strengthen certain areas where things meet. I make it darker. I'm using a Tuscan red to pull out the features of the face and just make everything look stronger. I'm defining the underplane of the chin with very graphic little lines, very precise lines. Now I'm going to render him as a blonde, so I'm laying in marker with an actual marker tip, and I'm leaving highlights. Just the white of the paper will function as highlights on the hair. You can see I don't spend a lot of time. I want a nice loose rendering. You don't want to be too busy when it comes to hair. It's a marriage of line and shape. I'm rendering the swimsuit. This is my first tone. Again, I'm going to leave a highlight so I have a sense of a shiny swimsuit. So I think about where sort of the princess line of the swimsuit would fall, and that's where I'm leaving some white. Now I'm going in with my second tone, which is a slightly darker shade, and I'm putting in shadow. You see, it doesn't have to be very precise, just so long as you're thinking about where shadow would fall and where the light source is coming from. Once I have all my shading in, I'm going to go back and start adding some more Prismacolor to pop out the areas. And then I've decided I need one more dark accent, so I'm going back in with a light walnut Prismacolor and just adding a few extra accents. And then again, a little bits of black. Even though my outline is primarily red, I usually will go in with a little bit of black to really pop out the figure. And I'm also using a little bit of Prismacolor to add a bit more shadow, so I can combine that with my marker, and each layer is helping the figure to look dimensional. But you want to keep a light touch, stand back, look at your work before you add more so that you don't overwork the figure. Just little touches of darker line. And this is our finished figure, and he's ready to throw his frisbee. I've added a little bit of the same skin tone as sand.